welcome to our very first episode of How Am I Made, where the food talks back and the machines are only mildly terrifying. I'm Candy Cane, the one you hang on your Christmas tree, even though you know you're gonna eat me at 2 a.m. when no one's watching. Before I became this shiny red-white swirl that screams holiday spirit, I was just a soft little white particle, a nobody, a background extra in the sugar world. My journey started long before peppermint took over my personality, long before I was bent into America's favorite L-shaped piece of holiday guilt. And trust me, Cinderella had mice, magic, and a curfew. I had heat, machines, boiling syrup, and a factory that could melt me faster than your ex moved on. But hey, if you want to follow my glow up from sugar dust to Christmas icon, stick around. And if you're into funny, weird, oddly satisfying stories told by your favorite foods, subscribe right now so you don't forget me later. My memory is strong, yours debatable. All right. Now that we're officially friends, let me tell you where my journey really began. So it began way before peppermint TikTok fame, way before stores dumped me into giant red buckets labeled holiday must-haves. I was born on a farm, but not a whimsical Disney farm with singing birds and a friendly scarecrow. Nope, a real sugar field where the sun was hot, the soil was gritty, and the farmers were doing actual work while I just sat there, growing, slowly. Wondering if I would ever amount to anything more than coffee sweetener. I came from sugar cane, tall, green, proud, and honestly a little dramatic. You should have heard the cane whispering in the wind. We are the backbone of sweetness, the essence of desserts, the rulers of holiday baking. Calm down, Brenda, you're grass. Anyway, the day of harvest came, and suddenly I was living my first Cinderella moment. But instead of a pumpkin carriage, I got a giant metal machine that growled louder than a Black Friday crowd. It sliced us down like we owed it money. Not exactly magical, but hey, it got the job done. Once they chopped us up, we were hauled to a mill where the real makeover began. Think of it as a spa day, but instead of essential oils and cucumber water, it was hot water and industrial rollers squeezing the life out of us. They pressed and crushed us until our juice came out. Yes, juice. It's not glamorous, don't judge. Then the juice was boiled until we crystallized into pure sugar. That's right, the glow-up started early. 1 minute, I'm plant juice. The next minute, I'm tiny sparkly sugar crystals that would make Cinderella's glass slipper jealous. Now here's where the plot thickens like syrup, because my story doesn't just belong to me. Candy canes have been a Christmas staple in America longer than most family traditions. Back in the late 1600s, I didn't even have stripes. Yep, plain white. Just a humble shepherd's crook handed out to kids in church so they would stay quiet. Basically, we were the original iPad. Years later, stripes were added, peppermint became the vibe, and suddenly we were famous. Tree decorations, holiday treats, hot chocolate toppings. America couldn't get enough of us. And me? I was just one tiny sugar crystal hoping one day I'd get picked for the big leagues. Spoiler alert, I did. But not without facing my first real challenge. My journey got real the moment I left the field. 1 second I was sugarcane, minding my own business, and the next I was chopped, squeezed, boiled, and crystallized like some overworked reality show contestant trying to win America's sweetheart. After crystallizing into pure white sugar, I thought life would get easier. Spoiler, it didn't. I got shoveled, scooped, and tossed around like a toddler controlling a sandbox. Then I got loaded into a truck for the bumpiest ride of my early existence. That truck had zero suspension. Every time it hit a pothole, sugar rained inside like it was trying to recreate a low-budget snow globe. No one warned me farms and factories are basically neighbors who hate each other's driving. When we finally reached the candy factory, I thought I'd walked into a dream. Bright lights, shiny metal, giant mixers, steam everywhere. It looked like the kind of place Willy Wonka would lease out during off-season. But trust me, behind those magical machines, things get real fast. They dumped me into a mixer where I met my new best friends, water and corn syrup. Not the most glamorous trio, but we bonded quickly under extreme temperatures. Then came the heat. Not cozy, warm, Christmas fireplace heat. I'm talking heat that could make the sun sweat. I got boiled to over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which is basically the hard crack stage of candy making. A stage name that sounds questionable, but okay. Imagine being so hot that you melt, lose your shape, and question every life choice that led you here. That was me, liquid sugar with an identity crisis. But this was also the start of my transformation. This was my Cinderella before the ball moment. I didn't have fairy godmother sparkles. I had giant steel arms mixing peppermint oil into my soul. And honestly, that smell alone could convert anyone to Christmas. It was the moment I stopped being plain sugar and started becoming something more. A candy with purpose. A candy with flavor. A candy that was about to get stretched, twisted, and glamorized like I was entering a holiday beauty pageant. And trust me, the makeover only gets crazier from here. After surviving the boiling stage, which honestly felt like a spicy bath I did not sign up for, I flowed onto a cooling table. I was still gooey, stretchy, and questioning whether I even had bones. This was the part of the process where the machines basically said, "Congrats, you're hot, now let's pull you apart." They poured me onto this massive metal hook called a puller, which spun and stretched me non-stop. It whipped me around like I was taffy at a carnival, except this was industrial grade. Every stretch pulled tiny air bubbles into my body. Apparently, that makes me whiter and shinier, which felt a little superficial, but okay, aesthetics matter. While I was getting tossed around like a contestant on an extreme makeover show, the factory crew took a piece of my sugary self and mixed red coloring into it. That part of me turned bold, bright, festive, loud red. That was the glamorous twin everyone notices first. Then came the layering. They placed my big white body next to strips of my red self, stacked us together, and rolled us into one thick log, one giant candy cane waiting to be born. Now, here's where things get wild. That log didn't stay giant for long. Machines rolled us again and again, stretching us thinner every second until we were long, perfect tubes. Like sugar pasta going through a machine that was way too excited about its job. And then, the twist. The moment every candy cane dreams of, the signature swirl. We got twisted gently, but fast. The red and white spiraling around each other like a Christmas romance movie where two opposites fall in love under unrealistic circumstances. Except this time, it worked. This was my look, my gown, my Instagram filter moment. Finally, I got cut into individual sticks. Dozens, hundreds, thousands of tiny knees sliding down the line. Straight, perfect, ready for the final touch. The bend, the iconic hook. The part that makes everyone go, "Aw, it's cute," while completely ignoring that bending hot sugar is basically candy yoga performed by robots. A quick mechanical arm curved my top end into that shepherd's cane shape, and suddenly I didn't look like a sugar log anymore. I looked like Christmas. For the first time, I saw myself and thought, okay, not bad. I get the hype. But the journey isn't over yet. My makeover was complete. Now I just needed to survive cooling, wrapping, shipping, and millions of grabby holiday shoppers. And let me tell you, humans are much more chaotic than the machines. After the great twist and bend makeover, I slid onto the cooling belt. Cooling is supposed to be relaxing, but honestly, it felt more like standing under an air conditioner at 3 a.m. wondering how my life spiraled into chaos. I had just gone from molten syrup to solid candy in minutes. My body was confused, my emotions were confused, my peppermint vibes were the only thing holding me together. Once I cooled enough to not melt into a puddle again, I entered the wrapping station. This was my first taste of true celebrity life. A shiny plastic wrapper whipped around me like a red carpet dress. Snap, sealed, boom, airtight. Suddenly, I was protected from sticky fingers, humidity, and toddlers who think everything is a chew toy. The wrapper felt a little tight, but hey, fashion hurts. Then I joined a long line of other candy canes on a conveyor belt that moved faster than people rushing for Black Friday TVs. We scooted forward while machines inspected us, making sure we weren't cracked, chipped, bent wrong, or looking depressed. If you didn't pass inspection, you got tossed into the reject bin, which is basically Hollywood for candy. One bad angle and you're out. Luckily, I was flawless. Straight body, perfect swirl, iconic hook. Honestly, a star. Next, we were grouped into sets. Boxes of 10, 12, 24, sometimes those giant family packs people buy to pretend they'll share. The boxes snapped shut, slapped with labels, and stacked into massive crates. It felt like being stuffed into a tour bus with 500 other peppermint influencers. And we were all heading to the same destination, America's holiday season. The factory floor was loud, chaotic, and full of movement. Machines beeped, belts whirred, boxes slammed shut. It was dramatic, Sure, but also satisfying to watch myself move from one stage to the next, like I was checking off steps in a glow-up montage. Once we were fully packed, forklifts hauled our crates onto giant pallets. These pallets were shrink-wrapped until they looked like they were wearing plastic armor. We were protected, bundled, and prepped for the big world outside. I wasn't just a candy anymore. I was a product, a holiday icon, a peppermint soldier ready for battle. And that's when the doors opened. The loading dock stared back at us like a portal to a new universe. Delivery trucks waiting with their engines humming, ready to take us anywhere across the country. This was it, my debut, my exit from the factory and entrance into the real world. I was packed, wrapped, chilled, and slightly anxious. But at least I smelled amazing. Now it was time for the biggest journey of all, distribution. Leaving the factory felt like graduating high school, except instead of a diploma, I had a plastic wrapper and unreasonable expectations. The loading dock doors opened, and boom, cold air, loud trucks, and the smell of diesel mixed with Christmas spirit. What a combo. Forklifts carried our pallets like we were royalty being escorted to our chariots. Except those chariots were 18-wheelers with engines louder than a midlife crisis motorcycle. We got loaded into refrigerated trailers, not because I'm high maintenance, but because sugar hates humidity more than people hate slow Wi-Fi. Once we were fully packed, forklifts hauled our crates onto giant pallets. These pallets were shrink-wrapped until they looked like they were wearing plastic armor. We were protected, bundled, and prepped for the big world outside. I wasn't just a candy anymore. I was a product, a holiday icon, a peppermint soldier ready for battle. And that's when the doors opened. The loading dock stared back at us like a portal to a new universe. Delivery trucks waiting with their engines humming, ready to take us anywhere across the country. This was it, my debut, my exit from the factory and entrance into the real world. I was packed, wrapped, chilled, and slightly anxious. But at least I smelled amazing. Now it was time for the biggest journey of all, distribution. Leaving the factory felt like graduating high school, except instead of a diploma, I had a plastic wrapper and unreasonable expectations. The loading dock doors opened, and boom, cold air, loud trucks, and the smell of diesel mixed with Christmas spirit. What a combo. Forklifts carried our pallets like we were royalty being escorted to our chariots. Except those chariots were 18-wheelers with engines louder than a midlife crisis motorcycle. We got loaded into refrigerated trailers, not because I'm high maintenance, but because sugar hates humidity more than people hate slow Wi-Fi. Workers unpacked my box, slid me onto a shelf, and adjusted me until my swirl faced forward. I appreciated the effort. Presentation matters. The store was already decorated. Fake snow, oversized ornaments, Mariah Carey's voice echoing from every aisle. The atmosphere felt like the North Pole had a Black Friday sale. As shoppers passed by, I started hearing the comments. "Aw, candy canes. Ooh, peppermint. We need these for the tree. My kids will devour these in a day." That's when it really clicked. I made it. I wasn't just a sugar crystal anymore. I wasn't just a factory product. I was officially part of America's Christmas season. But here's the crazy part. Once I hit the shelves, I wasn't alone. Every year, billions of candy canes join me. And trust me, the numbers are wild. So there I was, finally on the shelf, doing my best to look irresistible with my shiny wrapper and flawless peppermint swirl. So, the next time you hang me on your tree, or peel open my wrapper at midnight because your holiday diet starts tomorrow, just remember, I came a long way to get to you. And I survived heat, machines, potholes, forklifts, and toddlers to be a part of your December. If you liked hearing my story, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Alright, that's all from me. I'm Candy Cane, and now you officially know where I came from and what I went through. See you on your Christmas tree.